people tend to come
God
late,
opens doors.
like a little late,
Like,
because school.
I was just saying that, so
for-
don't take it out. So I'll wait a couple minutes.
Literally. Why are they like buzzing in here? They're like, I am the
Because I'm
second.
fabulous?
Yes.
They're very confused. Why does
They're ready.
they have a beard? Yeah, I'm gonna wait like a couple more minutes because I know there's some.
Can y'all stop?
Yeah.
What are they doing? Why are they?
Not again.
Is that your love? I like
You
your
know what?
dress.
I'll have a celebratory cookie, and when that cookie's done, we can start. Does that sound all right?
Yes.
Thank you.
I eat really slow in the morning. I don't really want to eat. They keep talking to them.
Okay. I'm not gonna finish this cookie until after I'm done talking. Hi, what's your name? Nice to meet you. I'm Petra. All right. So I'm gonna start with intros, and absolutely. No, I took a bite. I took a drag queen
I
bite.
would. I'll tell you.
That's about the speed I use.
You see it and then it's gone.
All right. I gotta turn Miss Marlene Dietrich off.
I don't know what I was doing. I just opened the app and I'm like, so cute.
All right.
Yeah, they make me sick. The jalapeno is cookie.
So we'll start. We'll do a soft start and then a real start. So hi everyone. I'm Pepper. Thanks for being here. How are y'all doing?
Jewelry.
Good.
Oh, you can do better than that. This is kind of a drag show. How are you doing?
Good.
Great.
So there you go. Little
Oh,
drag
I know
queen.
French. Très bien.
Why do you know French?
I'm in French.
Gesundheit. Hello. Okay, so here's how it's gonna go. We're doing a couple introductions just to get that in the room. I'm Pepper, and I'm gonna say something I like. I like the color red, and I do not go to school anymore. But if you would like, please tell me what grade you're in, so I have a gauge of ages. That'd be nice. Starting with you.
I'm 18.
18.
I just graduated this year.
Congratulations.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. And what one thing you like?
Dogs.
Dogs. Great. Next up.
I'm in 10th grade. One thing I like is her.
There we go. There we go. Her. Spotlight. Go.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know how to introduce myself. I'm in 10th grade.
12th.
10th grade. I also like her. And I also like
steal one.
Okay, I also like cookies.
Yeah.
I'm in 10th grade and what do I like? Guy Fieri.
Oh, bless his heart.
Yeah.
Bless his heart. So much money.
You're right.
Thank you. Oh,
Sorry. I just turned 13. I'm in 7th grade and have a lot of things that I like and I can't think of one on the top of my head.
works for me. Thank you. And then you're not. You're also indicted. One thing you like in your name, and obviously you work here.
Yes, I'm Heather, and I love thunder and lightning storms.
I'm Stephanie. I actually work at the Troutdale Library. I'm the youth librarian there. And it's gonna be a little cheesy, but I like myself.
Ah.
It's taken me a really long time to fully like and love myself, so.
That's great.
There we go.
I'm inferior.
I'm Lord, I work here at
Except for my toes.
I love sunshine.
Dun, dun, dun. You can take my spot. I can't do it.
I'm Lindsay. I work in programming, so I'm all over the place. And I like my animals. I have 2 dogs and a cat.
Little muffins. Great. Well, great. So we're gonna start more formally. Here are the agreements that I start off with when I'm doing works, especially since I'm not in a nightclub. And imagine trying to make this happen in a nightclub. So my agreements are how I'd like us all to walk into this is respect. Not all ideas or experiences are going to be familiar or comfortable. Sometimes asking a question for clarity is great. Sometimes it's best to just listen and see if by listening you might understand better. We will work together to respect each other by making space for questions that might not have easy answers and by being okay with unanswered questions. Especially in the realm of performance and gender, There's a lot to not know, and that's great. Agency. Agency is having the tools to manage your life and choose how you want to be in the moment. I'm glad you're here, honestly. Thank you for being here. Otherwise, it'd just be us hanging out. Not that you guys are great, but we're here for you. You're welcome to ask questions, engage in conversation, and pass, not actively engage. So if I ask you a question and you're like, I want to pass, I welcome that. You're still engaging by listening and being here. Thank you. If you need to leave, take care of yourself and go enjoy the library. You won't offend me, it's just my life work. I'm kidding, you won't offend me. Presents. What a rare gift to be together and learn about art and other cultures. We will practice being mindful and being here. So no cell phone combos or Instagramming, Snapchat. You can take a break for it. It's a safe space to not be plugged in, because there's other things to see. Assuming best intent. When learning about new things, we might stumble on words, be rude by accident, get embarrassed, be unsure and uncertain, which is basically my career. We will start off by assuming each other's best intent and making space for curiosity. So if y'all feel great with that, I feel great with that. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell
yeah. Hell yeah. Great.
Quick
Moving
question.
on.
Sorry.
Yeah. Right
I
away.
know, like calling my friend or whatever, but is it okay if I record? My friend couldn't make it.
It is not.
Okay.
You're gonna have so much fun relating and communicating to them
Okay.
through your memory.
Sorry.
No, nothing to be sorry about. Step 1, what is drag? And this is where I'm gonna ask you to help me out since I don't know what it is. We're gonna do a little popcorn. So just yell out the words you think. What is drag? I'm asking you.
Performance.
Performance.
And art. Because great minds think alike.
You're not very great.
Great minds, keep going.
Insult to yourself, Chelsea.
Dress up.
What's that?
Dress up.
Dress up.
Self-expression.
It's vibrant.
Vibrant. No, it's great. It's gonna get messy.
Me too.
Self-expression. Keep going. Uncomfortable pause.
Could I just say healed?
Yes, you sure can.
Death drop.
Heels. More words. Keep it coming.
RuPaul.
I heard death drop.
Death drop. We'll get to that.
It's
just
the best thing ever.
You don't need, it's
What's that?
Creativity.
Creativity. Thank you. I can still hear under this wig.
Beauty.
Beauty.
Kings and queens.
Welcome. Oh, thank you. Come on in. Right now we're playing a game called What is Drag, and we're just kind of like throwing words out. And I missed one
I
from over
say
there.
kings and queens.
Kings and queens.
Ooh, I want to put something on that.
Say something.
I don't know.
We're solving the mystery of what is drag, so any words
Makeup.
I'm going to throw up here is going to be great. Makeup.
Talent.
Talent. Thanks for seeing me.
Sassy.
Sassy. That's my middle name. You're doing great.
Your middle name's Pepper Sassy Pepper.
Sometimes. I just make that up right
That's
now.
awesome.
Thank you. Awesome. Great. We'll add that there. Keep it coming. So far we've got beauty, makeup, death drop, sassy, dress up, talent, uncomfortable pauses, heels, self-expression, kings and queens, creativity. Some more adjectives would be nice.
How about pizzazz?
Pizzazz.
I like that a lot.
So what is drag? What could drag be? Let's just frame it another way. Like, what is drag? What could drag be? What is it like? What does it feel
Awesome.
like? Awesome.
You
We
already
go.
were awesome.
Oh,
We did? Oh.
there we go. Put it up again.
Darn it.
I completely forgot what to say.
Fine.
It's anything you want it to be.
Anything you want to be except legible handwriting. Keep going.
Limitless.
Limitless, which is awfully like anything. Limitless.
Except the atmosphere.
Atmosphere?
Sure.
Sure. I accept. Should have kept the music going, I'm so sorry. Just, we're gonna stay in the uncomfortable positive drag for just more, well, before we move on. Any other words you think? What could it be?
Inspirational.
Inspirational, what does it feel like? What does drag taste like?
Makeup.
Tastes like makeup.
Oh.
For me, it tastes like tears because I'm allergic to something and it's literally crying my makeup off right now. It's the work hazard, I'm so sorry. All right, give this a big breath. Good job. So we're gonna switch gears, and on top of this beautiful mess, I'm gonna ask a similar question. What is gender? It's a big one.
There's no one.
Yeah, there's no wrong words here.
Something someone identifies as.
Identifies.
It's what you're comfortable.
What was that?
What you're comfortable.
Comfortable?
Yeah, I don't know.
Rather paper.
Thank you. I'll also write uncomfortable.
Also uncomfortable.
Welcome. I'll also write the word binary in there. And non-binary, those are words we're going to see in a minute. Keep it going. Doing great. Gender is, fill in the blank. It's like, gender is. What's that? You. Me? You. Y-O-U. Great. Gender is you. It's us. It's me. It's them. Hi, welcome.
Hey.
Gender is
Expressive.
expressive. Thank you.
Fluid.
Fluid. Thank you. Keep it going. Gender is personality. Great. Let's just strive for a few more. Pretty good spot. We can just go a little farther. Gender is. I'm surprised we haven't heard the word male or female yet. So I'll write those down. Male, female. I'll also add trans.
I honestly forgot this one.
All right, so as we can see, I start this at the beginning. We're gonna refer back to this. I like to do this exercise because it kind of gets our thoughts in the room and something to set down, something to refer back to, is that drag and also gender, they relate to each other. And we've kind of created a nice performance art visual piece here. And in some ways, it's also a little messy and kind of hard to see, but also something that we know. Oh, and before you guys go, I want to make sure you introduce yourself.
They're not leaving.
Okay, great. Thanks for signing in, but let me put you on the spot since you're standing up, Stabby. What's your name, something you like, and what grade are you in?
Well, my name's I'm in 8th grade now, and you said what I like?
Yeah.
I really like making music and singing.
Great. Thank you so much.
And I like it.
And our friend?
Who is the boy?
What? Name, school, not school, grade, and something you like.
My name is I am in 8th grade and I like baseball.
Welcome. Hi. Name, grade, and something you like.
My name I'm in 6th grade and I like singing and dancing.
Thank you. Welcome here. You're in good company. All right. Maybe we can turn the other light down because we're going to start the very serious lecture. Very serious. All right. Well, thank you for all your work and for answering the unanswerable question. We're going to move on. Before I kind of jump into the nuts and bolts of what I practice, the theoretical ideas of what drag is, I'm going to talk a little bit about my arts practice, and with the point of saying I approach drag in kind of a multi-genre, multimedia way. That's me. Drag gives me access to personal expression, and personal expression is personal power. Getting to know my expression is getting to know myself, and my boundaries and my interests. It allows me agency, which is the ability to move and live and work in a world according to my intuition and interest. It has taught me important skills: teamwork, leadership, production, design, makeup, costuming, contract negotiations. Thank you, Lindsay. I have failed and bombed many shows and been able to stand back up and continue learning from my work. It allows me to embrace my history and use my story to fuel my creative practice. I've been able to feel less isolated because having a safer space to express myself with my friends supports and allows me to come to terms with the parts of me that have experienced trauma and neglect. It has challenged me to accept people as they are and accept myself as I am, a human coming to terms with their gender, creativity, and self-awareness. Drag is complicated, humans are complicated, and expression is vital. Why drag? I'm here to celebrate, this is kind of like why I do it. I'm here to celebrate creativity and community. I turn tragic into magic, be fabulous, use the mask to become myself, not hide behind it. Explore and express my creativity, learn compassion, boundaries, and acceptance, fail, apologize, and do better. There's many approaches to expression. And so doing drag can be an artistic statement in itself. Just to, it's like getting dressed up as an exploration, that's a good enough act to explore and to be curious about yourself or the world, done and done. It could be a complete ritual done for yourself, your friends, your community, presented in public at clubs, which is often what I do, Instagram, social media, art galleries, festivals, and TV. Drag can be the source of inspiration, or it can be the vehicle to express a different idea entirely. Discovering, twisting, challenging, blending, and diversifying the modes of expression is part of the fun of creating art. I'll show you some what I've been doing with drag over the years. Here's some ideas and some stuff. This is a project I'm working on right now. It's called Pink Moment, and it's me in this pink dress that my artist friend Davida gave to me. And I take this dress all over the United States, mostly to wilderness areas when I'm in artist residencies or stuff like that. And I take video of myself dancing in it and then make that into art. I'll show you some of those differences that I do. Right now, this is just a digital image. Eventually, I'll print this out because I think it's gorgeous. Some other images of me dancing in the pink dress. I'm also a trained dancer. I've been dancing ballet, modern, and contemporary dance for a long time. That was really helpful in my drag career. I didn't have heels on this trip, but I have packed heels out into the desert before. You're welcome. Here's a picture of me. This is a month ago in Playa, Summer Lake, which is in Central Oregon. And I like to include this slide because I'm not wearing any makeup there. I'm just wearing a dress. So is it still drag? You don't have to answer that, but I mean, to me it is. It kind of is what makes drag, right? Is it the dress? Is it the color? Is it the makeup? Is it the hair? What are the parts that constitute or make drag as an art or a drag queen as a performer? That's something I'm always thinking about and also willing to challenge. The reason why I don't have makeup on here is because that windstorm you see behind me was coming so fast, I didn't have time to put makeup on. So I just ran out because I knew I wanted to get that shot, and I did. This was a couple weeks later where I decided to put some makeup on, and I kind of went with more of like a fantastic creature kind of makeup with a little bit of clown and did more dancing. And this shot was just, I was so great. This is going to be, I hope this will be in a museum someday. That's the goal. I think it's great. So then, what I do as a drag performer isn't just performing in clubs. I'm also making artwork and kind of pushing the boundaries of what that is. And so one thing I did was I danced in, if the internet works, I danced in the, on the playa during the storm and kind of let the dress kind of like teach me where I was going. And then I took that footage back and then put it through a filter on my computer and created this image here. But then it's not playing, so might just have to skip it. So you see the one on the right. I went even a step further and took myself out of it, creating this more abstract piece, mostly just about the dress. So in some ways, that's not about drag at all, but it's coming from drag because one, I'm a drag queen, and two, it's my dress. And it's in the context of making work as a queer performer. And that's enough of that. Another part of my arts practice as a performer / visual maker is that I get to present it in galleries. And so this is in Portland, Maine, which is It's called Space Gallery, and they've invited me out 2 years in a row to do a performance of my show called Diva Practice, but also to install a visual arts piece in their window. And this was up for about 6 weeks, 24/7. I painted the windows with bubblegum pink tempera paint and set up 2 TV screens in the negative space, which then played a loop of some of the work that you saw earlier. Videos from that same project nonstop for about 6 weeks, and I was really happy about it. The one thing I'm not happy about is that I decided for whatever reason to put all my info right in front, and you know, I think aesthetically I could have put it to the right instead of be so ostentatious. Another thing I'm doing is I'm researching being a photographer and creating work that is based in my practice as a performer in my body, but also wanting to try new things. And so, you know, being an extrovert as a kid, I was really loud. I was absolutely that kid who always had to have all the attention, and in some ways I still am. But as I get older, I'm realizing that I've been really called to pay attention to really small details or intimate things or the wild or things that aren't necessarily me. And getting to practice with my new camera, which I got for this project, has really helped me kind of create new work. And so that's just something I really want to share, is that whatever artistic practice that we decide or find ourselves in that we might be good at, it's always going to lead to new levels of curiosity and meaning, and that's really important to me. And here's another image from that. So moving on, so sometimes I'm not creating work that I'm trying to like get in museums or be, you know, depth of thought. I'm also thinking of just playing around on Instagram. So who has Instagram? About half, great. So what I do is I just take an image of myself in drag, and then I just Photoshop it into different places around the world. Since I don't necessarily have the budget to travel everywhere, I just make sure that my image does. So it makes it look like I'm much more fancy than I am. So she's going places. She goes to the desert. She goes to the racetrack. She goes to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. She goes to the Eiffel Tower. Her proportions are a little awkward, but she's having a great time. I also go to the moon, because that's where all the cheese is for the pizza. Here's some other pictures of me doing drag in different ways. Here on the left was a project about 10 years ago. I had a makeup artist who wanted to experiment on me, so I said, sure, go for it. And then on the right is an image, someone wanted me to, they hired me to be their model. And so I got all dressed up and we did some photos. Here's me on TV,
No way.
KGW, with my good friends talking about the Oscars. And don't I look great in that red dress? Sorry. No, I'm right here. And that's Byron Beck. She's lovely. That's Carla Rossi, and that's Alicia Rose. And we did some Oscar commentary, and that was really fun. Here's me with pizza. You also notice that I have a beard a lot in my drag, and that's not always something you see on TV. But sometimes part of my project around agency is how I express that is sometimes I don't want to shave, and I still get to be a drag queen. And like that's my way of flexing my power a little bit, of saying how I get to look or feel, it depends on the actions I want to take for my body, and that's a really clear thing that I've carried with me in my practice. Here's an image of me in a theater, because I do a lot of theater-based work. I tour all around the country doing theater workshops, dance, and multimedia installation. And this was a project here in Portland called Risk Reward. And I set up cameras, and it created this fun effect, and you know, art, it's great. Moving next, we have me with my shadow. So that's a little bit of me, kind of cutting that part out. Just some ideas and some things that I do with my own practice. But now we're going to go a little bit gender and drag 101 so that we can move forward with a little bit of background and theory about what we're talking about. Some gender definitions. Gender, the state of being male or female, and typically regarding to social constructs rather than physical attributes. Transgender, refers to someone who does not identify with the gender they were assigned at birth. Cisgender refers to someone who identifies with the gender they were assigned at birth. Non-binary refers to someone who does not identify exclusively male or female. That's where I fall in. Gender fluid refers to someone whose gender identity changes over time from one end of the spectrum to the other. or genderqueer, which refers to someone whose gender identity falls on the spectrum between male and female. And a lot of these identities shift and change over time because I believe our relationship to our gender is a relationship that's internal, that gets expressed outward, and based on our relationship that's ongoing. It's a constant self-understanding that may land in a solid space or may not, and all of those options are okay. Any quick questions on this part before I move on? You doing good? Great. I love this infographic because the genderbread person kind of shows some important things. That gender identity lives up here. Attraction and romance lives here. And then expression can also be on the outside, how we show ourselves or how we choose to show ourselves. Sex is kind of like the physical characteristics of what people assume is male or female or intersex or trans. So those are some basic things. This infographic is great. I'm sure your librarian can help you find it on the internet. Cross-dressing versus drag. Gender play is old as humanity. Cross-dressing has been recorded or labeled in pretty much every culture. Transsexuality is gender identity, whereas doing drag is an act. Some gender theory states that all gender is performance, but I believe not all genders needs lights and glitter in an audience. So the difference between, what's the difference between transsexuality, cross-dressing, and drag? If you're trans, can you still be a drag queen? Who gets to perform femme, masc, or non-binary? So I bring this up because the first thing I get asked for folks who have no experience with drag or queer culture or folks who identify as trans is, are you a woman? And that's like such an affront. I was like, you don't even know me. Like, that's the first thing you're gonna ask. Yes, I have lovely hair, thank you, stay. But so often, like, the assumption is that if you're in drag that you wanna be this hyper feminine or whatever presentation you're offering. And that may or may not be true. I have a lot of friends who discovered they were more on the trans spectrum by starting doing drag. And this was, 10, 15, 20 years ago, before we had the wealth of information and access we have to it now. And the answer is, can a trans person still be a drag queen? The answer is yes, because anyone can be a drag queen. Because drag is an act and a performance, whereas being trans or cisgendered is an identity or an experience of yourself. Yeah? We're still tracking? We doing good? Good job. Thank you. Drag and gender are slippery and subjective, like art. So let's consider the possibility that drag is an act, an occupation, and a performance. It's what I do with my gender expression to entertain others or to just figure out my own world. Gender is a subjective and personal experience of the expression of a lifelong investigation and relationship with your internal world. So you get to decide how that relates. Moving on. Some things for further research if you want to take the master class is it's not just American drag is largely the thing you see on TV or on the internet, but trans identities and gender performance lives outside of the American world and outside of the white American space. Even though America is not white, America is many, many things. But I want to really poke at that bubble that happens on TV because I want to see that there's more options and there's also histories that go back to the dawn of time. For example, the Hijra in South Asia and India, the Two-Spirit peoples of Turtle Island, also known as the United States of America, the Waria of Indonesia, the Mushas of Yucatan, Mexico, the Afine for Samoan cultures, the Feminelli in Naples, and the Mahu in Hawaii are just a few of every single culture in the world has trans or third gendered people, which means at some point they've participated in rituals, community gatherings, and the experience of the human experience since the dawn of time. And that is not taught in schools.